save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
Welcome to the show, Picks and Parlays, here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. It's Monday, November the 11th. I'm your host, Nick Geber, in for Chelsea Messenger. Find me on Twitter. I'm at Nick Geber, Nickgeber. That's where you can find me on Twitter. We're also streaming this show live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. Go to our website, picksandparlays.net. You'll find all sorts of good stuff there, including loads of free sports picks, because, folks, that's what we're about. And we have an absolute smorgasbord of free picks for you today, along with some of our best handicappers from picksandparlays.net. We're going to be having El Guapo himself, Craig Trapp, joining us in the next segment. We're going to talk a little NFL and college football opening lines, given that it's Monday. We'll give you an opening lines report, tell you what's moving and why, and where you should maybe think about putting some of your money. Also, Deshaun Higgs will be joining us, the Higmeister. We'll be talking college football, UNC at Pitt, Wisconsin at Nebraska, and Navy at Notre Dame. That match is particularly interesting, that matchup. And finally, Tony Tellez will join us. We'll do some NFL, Steelers at Browns, Saints at Bucks, Falcons at Panthers, and we'll smatter in just a little pinch of some NBA for you. Cavs at 76ers, so you want to stay tuned for the show, because we're going to break all of those down for you and tell you where you want to be. By the way, I mentioned we have lots of free picks here on the show today, but go to our website, picksandparlays.net. You will find so many free picks you won't know what to do. Just about every sport, just about every game is up there. I say just about, but all 35 of our expert handicappers are up on the site. And when you're ready, you can get their expert picks as well when you're ready to kick it up a notch. In the meantime, plenty of free stuff to keep you going. All right, look, we'd love to hear from you during the show. Find us on any of those social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Make a comment in the comment section. We'll see it here in the studio, and our producer, Robert, will attempt to put it up on the screen, and maybe I'll mention it, provided it is not too rude. Remember, I said just not too rude. A little rude, okay, but not too rude. All right, that is going to wrap this little bit of the show up. We're going to come back in just a minute. What I want you to do during this break, go get a pencil and paper if you're not driving, of course, because you're going to want to write these down. All right, I'm Nick Geber. We'll be right back here on Picks and Parlays.
Black Friday. Get Black Friday prices today at the Home Depot. Up to 40% off appliance special buys, plus up to $600 in extra savings instantly on select appliances. No rebate, no hassle. Like a Whirlpool white top mount refrigerator for just $548. Over $180 off. Talk about holiday cheer. Black Friday savings early, now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only, while supplies last. See store for details. Valid through December 5th.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the Tax Helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
Hey travelers, do Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Napa know-how.
Right now, only at Napa, AAA members get a 20% discount. So you can avoid getting stranded on the side of the road by picking up some quality parts like batteries, brake pads, and more. Meaning you can prevent the problem before it ever becomes a problem. Bravo! That's 20% off for AAA members. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 11/30/19.
Man. Welcome back to the show, Picks and Parlays, here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. By the way, big hello to our men and women in uniform around the world listening on the American Forces Network. I'm your host, Nick Geber, in for Chelsea Messenger. Find me on Twitter at Nick Geber. We got a lot to get to this segment. We're going to talk college football and NFL opening line reports with El Guapo himself, Craig Trapp. By the way, I want to point out a little error. I read the wrong games I'm going to go through with Tony T. It's Veterans Day. I'm a veteran. I'm allowed to be, a little disjointed today. That's all I can say. Craig, you ready to go? We got a lot of stuff to talk about in NFL and college football today, don't we?
Yeah, NFL Week 11. I mean, it's weird that it's already Week 11, and before you know it, it's big Thanksgiving. Of course, that's the biggest weekend, I think, of the NFL season, when, of course, we have football from Thursday all the way through Monday. So, but yeah, NFL Week 11, let's get after it.
Yeah, I tell you what, Craig, I know we had some games we wanted to talk about, but then we actually had some sort of key games of the week. Why don't we start with those? Why don't we start with, I don't know what to say. Your boys, the Steelers at Browns. The Browns just 2-15-1 versus the Steelers since 2010. In that time, the Steelers are 8-9-1 against the spread. I don't know, Craig. The opening line was a Browns -3. Has that shifted?
Yeah, it shifted a little. Cleveland -2.5 now with a total of 40. Of course, I'm very familiar with these foes in the AFC North, the Bengals rivals here, but these two don't like each other. And, the Steelers have looked a lot better lately, even though, of course, Big Ben's out for the year. But Cleveland, the dismal season, at least turned a little better last week with a big win, but a short week and two young, inexperienced quarterbacks. So I think this total set at 40 for a reason. I think the defenses might have a little edge in this one this week.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Bills 6-3 against the Dolphins 2-7. And all I can say on this one, Craig, is LOL, because right now the Dolphins, guess what? They're on the longest winning streak in the AFC East. They're on fire, Craig. En fuego. Well, maybe not so much, but they won a couple, so good on them. The opening line on this is Bills -6.5. Has that changed?
Well, it actually even opened a little higher. It actually was 7.5 now to Bills -5.5.
Ooh.
Obviously, recency has a lot to do with this. The Dolphins, like you said, have been actually darlings lately against the spread and look to keep it going this week. But Bills defense, that's pretty good. I think this should be a really good matchup. I think that line's about where it should be. I think 5.5, 6 is pretty fair line if you like either side actually in this one.
All right. Well, El Guapo, shall we go to Mexico for the next game, where it will be the Chiefs 6-4 against the Chargers 4-6. Since this is in Mexico City, which is part of the NFL's global expansion. I don't know what else to call it. Since 2015, the Chiefs are 23-2 straight up versus divisional opponents, and 18-7 against the spread. 18 and 7, not 2-7, 18 and 7 against the spread. I'll get it right. As I said, it's Veterans Day. I'm allowed. Craig, Chiefs minus 4.5.
The line's actually 3.5 now. Chiefs 3.5, total 53 in this one. The Chiefs coming off one of the worst bad beats, if you were a bettor, probably you experienced all season if you were a Chiefs fan, where of course they could have kicked the field goal and been covering late. Instead, they mess that up. Then they give up a touchdown and actually lose outright. So a lot to think. But at least Mahomes was back and looked really good after a little sloppy early, but was really good against the Chargers team that's, of course, coming off a midweek loss last week, and now it's Monday Night Football, so they actually get a extended I won't say extra. They got 4 extra days to prepare for this one. So, but a mad Chiefs team that I think has given up a bad loss to Chelsea's team, the Titans.
Well, let's talk about your team, shall we? Let's talk about the Bengals, 0-9, and the Raiders, 5-4. The Bengals are the worst team in the NFL, but guess what? They always cover the spread on the road, isn't that right, Craig? The opening line, Raiders minus 10.5. What is it now? Raiders minus 150?
Well, it actually opened at 8, and now it's 10.5. This line's moving. I would expect this going to be an 11, 11.5, 12 range. Oakland,
I'm sorry, did you say 1,100?
Yeah, well, maybe. But Oakland, they've 2 wins in a row that would have been pretty impressive, but both of them came right down to the wire. So I think that's a worry if you play the Raiders team. But, Bengals rookie quarterback didn't help them out at all. Andy Dalton obviously wasn't doing much. So Finley didn't do much last week, and their defense is not very good. That's the big issue here with the Bengals. And Lamar Jackson had, of course, the perfect passer rating last game against this Cincinnati defense.
All right, 2 quick last NFL games before we get to some college football. Cowboys and Lions, this is just 2 words, Matthew Stafford. He's not going to play. So, is there a line currently on this?
Yeah, the line opened at 2.5. This might have been a little bit of advanced, and now it's Dallas 4.5. Like you said, Matthew Stafford not playing makes a huge difference. Although a lot of people don't like Stafford. I mean, he is one of those polarizing quarterbacks. But yes, the line has moved. Dallas coming off a tough loss at home. So I think you're going to get a motivated Dallas team against the Lions team that's banged up with the backup quarterback.
All right, and the final NFL game, I believe, is going to be Bills at Dolphins. No, didn't we do? We've covered everything.
Bears at Rams. Bears at Rams.
Bears at Rams. Thank you. My bad. Yeah. Bears at Rams. Again, I'm having another one of those days today. Bears 4-5, Rams 5-4. The Bears are 6-7 straight up, 5-2 against the spread. I've got an opening line of Rams minus 6.5 on this one.
Yeah, this is the Sunday Night Football game, so featured matchup. Rams 6.5-point favorite with a total of 41. A Bears offense that has been inept to say the least this year. Bears fans just want something to root on. You get this great defense, now you're wasting it with a inept offense against the Rams team that is really good. I think this Rams team just continues to get better. I think this line's actually going to move. I would be shocked if this thing doesn't end up at the key number of 7 or more.
Yeah, on Friday, Chip was telling me he really thinks that the Rams have a chance to bring the trophy back to St. Louis.
Yeah,
okay.
He would think that.
All right, let's do some college football. West Virginia at K-State. K-State minus 12. How's that moved?
K-State now minus 15. West Virginia really struggled for consistency this season, coming off an ugly loss at home. Now against a Kansas State team that's been pretty good. So I think this line actually could even move more.
Okay, let's make this quick. We just got about 3 minutes left. Wyoming at Utah State.
Utah State now, it goes from -3 to -6 now. Utah State is one of those teams that if you don't follow, usually gets a lot of money because Utah State's been pretty good over the last probably 5 or 6 years. So I think this line actually might end up at the key number of 7.
All right, Cincy at USF. I have Cincy opened at -9.5. What's happened on that line?
Now it's all the way up to 13.5. Of course, USF come off a midweek featured game loss last week on, I think it was Friday, and now they face a Cincinnati team that's been very good. I would expect this line to end up at the key number 14 as well.
All right, the midshipmen at the Fighting Irish. This actually is going to be a great game to watch this weekend. It really is. Notre Dame was -11.
Now it's Notre Dame -9. It speaks to how good this Navy team is. This Navy team is really good. Usually there's a complete mismatch when you face, Notre Dame as far as Navy is concerned. Not this year. I think this Navy team is really good. They can actually pass the ball along with their great triple option running attack.
All right, the University of Spoilt Children at Cal. I know she's going to be watching this one closely because she is one of those spoilt children. We have a USC -4. It's widened a little bit, -6.5. Did they pay for that to happen?
Well, I don't know about that, but USC has shown at times this year. Remember, Utah only lost to this USC team. So, granted, that was at USC. Now it's at Cal. These teams obviously rivals, in-state rivals. So I think this will actually be a pretty key game. If this gets to 7, I definitely would like Cal in this one.
All right, last two. Let's make it quick. Michigan State at Michigan. Michigan with -12. Where are they now?
Michigan's favored by 14 in this one. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh's coming off a couple nice wins, but now facing a team that he has not had a lot of good success against.
And finally, Florida at Mizzou. Florida -5. I believe that's widened a little bit at this point. Is that correct?
Yeah, all the way up to the key number of 7 here, which I think this Florida team's deserving favored. They've had some great wins, and their losses aren't, they're just some of the best teams in the SEC. So I think this one, but it is on the road, and SEC, road underdogs or home underdogs usually do pretty well.
All right, Craig, thank you so much. Of course, you can find Craig at picksandparlays.net. Coming up next, we're going to do some college football. We'll continue the college football discussion with Deshaun Higgs. Stay tuned here on Picks and Parlays. Again, find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and broadcasting live on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. I'll be back right after this. Thanks, Craig.
Do you owe $10,000 or more on at least 2 federal student loans? Then you may qualify for new programs offered by the Department of Education. These programs can reduce your interest, lower your payments, and possibly qualify you for loan forgiveness. If you have $10,000 or more and at least 2 federal student loans and currently not in school, you may qualify for one of these programs. Call now to check your eligibility. Student loan advisors are standing by to help you determine if you qualify for these new programs. They can help you reduce your interest, lower your payment, and even forgive a portion of your student loan debt. Take control of your financial future. Make this free 5-minute free call now to Nationwide Student Loans and learn how you can reduce your student loan debt.
800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit, and 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
At 28, I had struggled with opiate and meth addiction for 12 years. I did and said things that the sober me never would have done. One day I realized I was not invincible. I was not exempt. And that's when a friend told me about elite rehab placement. They gave me the tools I needed to get sober, and all it took was the one phone call.
Elite Rehab can help you start to break your addiction problem and get sober in as little as 7 days. And we'll work with your insurance provider to help cover the costs. Plus, we have travel assistance programs to get you here by plane or train. Make this free call right now to learn more.
800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. That's 800-403-5912.
Welcome to the show, Picks and Parlays Radio. I'm your host, Nick Geber. Find me on Twitter at Nick Geber. I mean, you can find me other places as well. You can oftentimes find me here, at the studio, or you can find me at my house or at Red Rock, But the best place is to find me on Twitter, at Nick Geber, Nickgeber. And if you want to find the show, we're at Picks and Parlays. That's our Twitter handle for the show. If you want to join in the discussion, we'd love to hear from you. All you have to do is comment on one of our many social media platforms, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Join the discussion, hashtag Parlay Radio. And if you're on YouTube, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. That's that little bell. You get notified every time we post a new video. All right, well, we promised Deshaun Higgs, and I am a man of my word, people. College football with Deshaun. How you doing, Deshaun?
I'm pretty good. How you doing today, Nick?
Well, very well, thank you. I know you're very happy because your new Picks and Parlay swag is on the way. You're wearing the version from 3 or 4 years ago, but it's outdated, but old, but still works, right?
Listen, the shirts are relatively new. I mean, these are newer shirts. They're not that old.
Okay, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Come on, don't be the hat. I get. I have to know that. I gotta, but I like it, and it's interchangeable because I got the white and I got the black. Depending on the gray shirt or the black one, I could switch it up. So
right, there
it's
you
good
go.
Because,
all right. Well,
I like to shave the head, and then I got to put the hat on.
Yeah, you did shave. Yeah, the hat. It's a better look with the hat. Trust me. Okay, UNC at Pittsburgh. Let's get to it. The Panthers are 4-5, 4-1 against the spread. Panthers already secured a bowl eligibility. Well, bowl eligibility. They're going to the bowl, whether it's the Tidy Bowl, the Beef Bowl, or who knows which bowl this is. They're going to one of them. But now they get to defend the ACC Coastal Division title. That's their next challenge for the Panthers. For the Tar Heels, 6-3 against the spread. Well, they're coming off a 38-31 loss to Virginia. That really landed a blow to their bowl eligibility hopes. I'll put it to you this way. This game is going to be a defensive battle. I have Pittsburgh -4.5 with a total of 50.5. The over is 7-1 in the Tar Heels' last road games. How do you see this, Deshaun?
I see. Listen, this is an ugly game. North Carolina started the year nice. They beat South Carolina. They beat Miami, Florida. You're thinking, wow, old man Mac hasn't lost a step, and then the wheels come off. You're 4-5. Granted, they had a great game against Clemson, but I don't know. I'm liking the under, and actually, I'm seeing it's down to 49 in some spots. So a full 1.5 since we talked a couple hours ago. It's come down. So I think the under is definitely in play. Pitt's a top 10 defense. And they're going to dictate the pace here at home. Some of their scores 16-12 at home, 30-14. They're low scoring. 50. How is this game even at 50 points with the way Pittsburgh plays? That's ridiculous. I think the under is the only way to go. I don't want to get on either side of this. Pitt's an ugly team, 6-3. Listen, they're going to a bowl. Maybe a Beef O'Brady's bowl. That was a great name for a bowl. And there was another one, like some crazy lawnmower bowl. Had a great name, like Power Mowers. I don't know, whatever. It's going to be some mid-major for them. I'm just going the under here. I can't pick a side. I'm not high on North Carolina at all. And Pitt, 6-3. They win some games, but I don't trust them laying any kind of points here. So under, find the best one. I see 49. I see 49.5. The 50.5 is way gone for our liking here, but still lean under here in a low-scoring affair.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? I believe this one will involve the Badgers, the Wisconsin Badgers, that is. Wisconsin are 7-2, 5-4 against the spread. They're up against Nebraska, 4-5, 1-8 against the spread. Wisconsin coming off a 24-22 win over Iowa. Quarterback Jack Cohn has 1,664 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. While Jonathan Taylor, rushed 1,259 yards for 15 touchdowns. That's impressive stuff. Nebraska, they had a bye week following a very disappointing 31-27 loss to Purdue. Quarterback Adrian Martinez, 1,492 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 167 interceptions. Just kidding, only 6. But it must feel like that if you're a Nebraska fan. The unders cashed in 5 of the Badgers' last 6, and the under is cashed in 5 of them Cornhuskers' last 6 at home. What have I got? Wisconsin -13 with 50.5 again. We get a lot of 50.5s on this one.
Yeah. How about that as an underplay here? Because the way Nebraska, talk about disappointing season, all the hype on these guys to start the year. Are you kidding me? 3 straight losses, 3 outright losses as a favorite. Just terrible numbers. I mean, Martinez basically a regression from last year. Everybody was expecting big breakouts from this team. Wisconsin, listen, they had the 2 losses from Ohio State and Illinois. Illinois burst their bubble. They come in flat. Ohio State trucks them. But before that, they outscored 86-0. I mean, so you come in a little happy about yourself, and Illinois gets you. But in this game, they come off the Ohio State game, 24-22. You mentioned Iowa. I think this is a game here they're just going to run all over Nebraska. I mean, do you have faith? I don't care, 13.5, 14 points. How do you back Nebraska the way they played all year? You think they're going to be like, well, this is our Super Bowl. Let's try to knock off Wisconsin. I don't see it happening. You mentioned Jack Cohn's numbers, 3 interceptions. The running back Taylor's got, almost 1,300 yards, 15 TDs. I think this is going to be like your typical Wisconsin, just going to pound them all day long, couple passes here and there. It's going to be, 40-10 or something like that. It's Wisconsin or nothing. I just how do you back Nebraska as 1-8 against the number? They've been terrible, absolutely terrible, getting beat up by better teams. Ohio State 48-7, Minnesota 34-7. I think Wisconsin, they're not as good as Ohio State. Along the lines of Minnesota, they're not Purdue, they're not Indiana or Illinois level. I don't think, even though Illinois kind of got them. I don't think they're that kind of level or above that. So I don't see how Nebraska's going to compete here. It's a lost season. I think they're just going to kind of go through the motions. I can't back them even off a bye week. I cannot get behind that team. It's Wisconsin or nothing. Wisconsin or a pass from me here.
Okay, you got it. So by the way, you can find Deshaun's picks at picksandparlays.net. Loads of free picks, and when you're ready for his expert picks, he's awaiting to give them to you. Trust me. Go to picksandparlays.net. We do have one more game to get to. This one, Midshipmen of Navy against them Irish who like to fight at Notre Dame. This should be
bunch of hooligans.
Yeah, true. This should be a great college football matchup. One of the ones I'm really looking forward to in this round. The Navy, the midshipmen, 7-1, 6-2 against the spread. Notre Dame 7-2, 5-4 against the spread. Navy have been racking up an average of 40 points a game this season, and their defense is only giving up 18 yards. I mean, it's just like, wow. I mean, sorry to use it, just to put it that way. That's really good numbers. They already have. What's that?
They're good numbers from Navy.
Well, it's Veterans Day. I'm an Army man myself, Army veteran. So, quite frankly, I don't wish anything good for them. But this is going to be a spectacular game. They've already, by the way, Navy have already had 2 upsets this season. This is going to be their 3rd because that's what they're looking for. Let's talk about the Irish for a minute, though. They snapped a 3-game losing streak with a big win over Duke Blue Devils last week. And midshipmen of Navy 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games after accumulating, I love this stat, more than 200 yards rushing in their previous game, while the wind is between 2 and 2.5 miles an hour. And right now they have a special at Taco Bell. While all of that's going on, they are apparently 4-1 against the spread. Look, we have Navy minus 10, total 55. How do you see it?
Well, Navy plus 10.
Pardon me, Navy plus 10. Pardon me. You're
minus
right.
10, you might have to think about taking Notre Dame there.
Yeah, exactly. Navy plus 10.
But yeah, 10. It was 8.5, 9s, 10s. It's going up, and I don't know why it's going up. I mean, and thank you for your service here on Veterans Day. My brother's Marine, a lot of Marines in my family, not many Army or Navy guys, but hats off to everybody who volunteers for that. That's that's definitely a calling. So real fast on that. Thank you for all the men and women uniform. But Notre Dame here,
my fellow veterans too.
Yeah, that's it's good stuff. But anyway, well, not anywaying the armed services. I didn't mean to put it that way. But
get to the game,
Notre Dame and Navy, these guys. No, I don't want to get to. Listen, Navy, they're always battling Notre Dame tough. Look at the scores here: 44-22, 24-17, 28 27, 41-24. Everything within the number here for Notre Dame Navy. I know Navy actually got them the 1 year. You got to take the points here. Triple option. I get Notre Dame plays the team every year. They're used to it, but it's not an easy thing to defend against. I'm getting 10 points. Navy's only lost to Memphis, who they were right there with the whole game. And we've seen, listen, they're not Georgia, they're not Michigan Navy, but we've seen ball control teams kind of beat up Notre Dame a little bit. So if I'm getting double digits here, I'm liking the points. I'm actually kind of liking the under a little bit here too. I don't think it's going to be a crazy high-scoring game with the rush attack going on, because it is a triple option. They churn and burn, but I think the clock's going to be rolling a lot here. So under and Navy for me in this game in the Irish land here, right? It's in Notre Dame.
Yeah,
always Notre
interestingly
Dame.
enough,
Notre Dame's never going to come. Notre Dame's never going on the road to play Navy. That's for sure.
No, that's for sure. Actually, interestingly enough, the midshipmen are 6-1. The under is 6-1 for the midshipmen in the last 7 games versus independent schools, of which obviously Notre Dame is one of those. So that's an interesting stat. But some of these derived stats I just love, by the way. They make my day. I mean, the under is 4-0 in the Irish's last 4 games after allowing less than 170 yards passing in their previous game. This is great stuff. The guys that do this are the guys that were responsible for that derivatives mess. Trust me.
Yeah, listen, I can't get into crazy numbers like that. They could, but that's where this is going with the analytics and the numbers, stuff like that. I can't really dive into those kind of numbers. I go more of my head-to-head. These two teams playing together. It's a rivalry, no doubt, and it means a lot to Navy playing Notre Dame. You know that. So anybody playing Notre Dame is going to get up for it. And then you bring a unique offense in. It's dog or nothing here with Notre Dame. Come on, forget Notre Dame, the Irish. They've had a nice season, but maybe Navy would an upset here. Would not shock me. We've seen Notre Dame struggle some.
All right, Deshaun, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. You can find Sean's picks at picksandparlays.net, and his expert picks are there for you as well when you're ready to take it to the next level. Up next, I said it was going to be NFL, but I lied. It's NBA and college basketball with El Tigre, Tony Tellez. Be right back after this.
For professional staffing, there's only one name you need to know: Robert Half. Robert Half custom matches our candidates to your specific hiring requirements by combining personalized service from local staffing experts with an advanced matching technology based on 70 years of successful placements. For highly skilled accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, or administrative staffing, count on Robert Half. We'll find you productive, engaged employees. Learn more at roberthalf.com/radio.
This is an urgent health notice for all residents suffering from back, neck, knee, and wrist pain. You may qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you, but the deadline is fast approaching. Simply call the Health Alert Hotline now.
You heard right. You may qualify for a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace. These items may even be covered by Medicare or your private insurance. The Health Alert Hotline is your brace company. These specialized braces have been tested for pain relief. Call us toll-free right now to determine your eligibility and to learn how to use your private insurance or Medicare to minimize your out-of-pocket cost. Don't wait. If the deadline passes, you may lose your opportunity to get a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace at little or no cost to you.
800-430-9571. 800-430-9571. 800-430-9571. That's 800-430-9571.
Money Now 100 is not a lender, broker, or agent of any lender or financial advisor. We do not make loans or credit decisions. You must be 18 years or older and a U.S. resident to qualify. This is not an offer or solicitation to lend. I went to moneynow100.com and got the $5,000 I needed deposited in my account the next business day. If you need money for any reason, help is here. Go to moneynow100.com and get the money you need. Need to pay off credit card debt? Go to moneynow100.com. Need your car repaired? Need home improvement money? Visit moneynow100.com. If you need fast cash for any reason, go to moneynow100.com. Good, bad, or no credit at all. Go to moneynow100.com. You could get up to $5,000 as soon as the next business day. Go to moneynow100.com on your phone, tablet, or computer. Type in the address bar moneynow100.com. That's moneynow100.com.
Hey, I'm Hall of Fame catcher Johnny Bench. I used to hit dingers and throw lasers when I was a Major League Baseball player. Now I do yard work, raise my boys, and get the occasional 18 holes in, but I still have to deal with that Hall of Fame pain. I use Blue Emu pain relief products. The Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis or Continuous Spray are easy to use. I just spray or rub it on. No stinging or burning. Blue Emu. It works fast and you won't stink. Available at nationwide retailers.
All right, welcome back to the show, Picks and Parlays, on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. And I have been remiss because it is Veterans Day, and so I would like to welcome to the show all of our men and women in uniform currently serving around the world who are listening on the American Forces Network. It's great to have you guys with us. We're also streaming live on iHeartRadio. We're streaming live on TuneIn. And, of course, live on our social media, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Find us at Picks Parlays, hashtag Parlay Radio if you want to join the discussion. I'm your host, Nick Geber. I am on Twitter at Nick Geber, Nickgeber. And I promised in the open that we were going to cover some NFL with Tony Tellez, El Tigre, but I was just playing with you. I was, trying to see if you guys were paying attention or not. I didn't want to make Tigre jump out of his cage. In fact, we're going to do one college football game and 2 NBA games. Tony, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. That was a Tuesday tease for you, that Tuesday lineup there. But we're actually going to talk some college basketball here. And, of course, the college basketball season has kicked off. And I will tell you, I was really impressed with
Did I actually
Texas
say college
going on the
football,
road.
Tony?
You did. You had me jumping off, but
I'm having one of those days today. Yes, of course, we are talking college basketball. We're going to talk Memphis at Oregon. Is that the right game? I just want to make sure that
that is the right game. Oregon and Memphis, we'll talk about it. I just wanted to make note here of some of this weekend stuff. We did see nice performance by Texas going to Purdue, getting the win. Of course, Virginia holding 2 opponents to 34 points in Syracuse and James Madison. So pretty good start to the season there for the defending national champion. Let's get to this game.
All right, let's do
Oregon versus Memphis. And this game will be played on neutral.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
This game will be played on a neutral court.
Yeah, right. Neutral court on this game, right? Memphis 2-0, 2-0 against the spread. Wins against South Carolina State and University of Illinois Chicago. After a good start, Tony, they've held both their opposing teams to under 64 points, which is, not too shabby. They're 9-3 straight up in the last 11. Of course, we don't have that many games this season, so that's going back to last season, obviously. Oregon 2-0, 1-1 against the spread. They're also off to a perfect start. The Ducks have early season wins against Boise and Fresno. They do have a Francis Okoro, I think, is still a question mark for this game. Talk to me about this game, Tigre. How do you see it?
All right, this game played in Portland, neutral court, where the Suns play at the Rose Garden. Of course, I think Oregon's strength of schedule a little tougher in so far, but the Ducks, what I like about them, they do have experience in their backcourt. Returning is point guard Peyton Pritchard, as is their shooting guard Anthony Mathis. Now, in their last game against Boise, Mathis 30 points, 10 of 12 shooting. Remember, both the starting backcourt for the Oregon are seniors. Pritchard developed well last season. He came up huge in that Pac-12 tournament, which was won by the Ducks. This starting backcourt was along for last year's ride in the NCAA tournament. Well, they got eliminated in the second round, but you know what, Nick? They gave the eventual champion Virginia a scare. Cavaliers getting past the Ducks last year, just 53-49.
Wow. So what are the points on this one?
Yeah, we got to Oregon here laying 4 in this game. Didn't see a total yet posted, but the Ducks are shooting the ball well, 56% over 43% from 3, and they're defending and holding teams to 39% overall. And of course, their head coach Dana Altman has assembled a really good supporting talent around their backcourt. Now, for Memphis, Penny Hardaway's, well, in his first season with Memphis, he had a lot of experienced players on their team, but they only got as far as the NIT and couldn't go far. They were out in the second round and went 22-14 overall. But Penny Hardaway's made a pitch to Memphis, hey, I'm going to recruit great players here. Well, we'll see how he does, because he has a lot of young talent there, a lot of sophomores and freshmen in their rotation. All 5 of their starters gone from last year. A very young team. This is a huge step in class for this Tigers, who opened with home games against, as you said, South Carolina State and Illinois Chicago. Pretty weak opponents there.
Yeah.
But, Nick, I'm going to go with the experience here with Oregon -4.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty safe bet. Of course, the NIT is the Europa League of college basketball. So they're trying to step the program up. I mean, I think that's good. That's what you want, right? You want to strive for bigger and better things. You want to have ambition. It's probably not going to be this year, but let them build a program, see where it goes, right? Cavs at 76ers. Let's go to the NBA, Tony. Cavs 4-5, 5-2-2 against the spread. The Sixers 6-3, 5-3-1 against the spread. Break this one down for me.
Yeah, I'm going to take here the Cavaliers at +12.5. I like what I'm seeing from this Cleveland team. They've covered 6 of their past 8 against the 76ers and 4 straight in Philadelphia. Remember, their head coach, John Beilein, sounds familiar. Yeah, he is familiar. He used to coach college basketball with Michigan, and he was discussing with the state of college basketball, said, I'm going to the NBA, and he leaves. But he's got this Cavaliers team moving in the right direction. their efficiency ratings, every time you look up the Cavaliers, you look at the bottom of the ratings. No longer. They're sitting in the middle in offensive and defensive efficiency. As a matter of fact, they rate higher than Philadelphia right now on the offensive efficiency rating. So I do like this Cavaliers team. They won both games on this trip so far at the Knicks and Wizards. And over their past 5 games, defending, holding teams to 44%, 30% from 3, Knicks. So I'm going to take the points here with Cleveland.
Going to take the points with Cleveland. Interesting. I mean, why should you be surprised that now it's a coach who's going to do what? It wasn't one and done, though, with him, was it? He was there more than a year, wasn't he?
No, he was there. He's been a long-time coach over at Michigan, but he was kind of upset with a lot of the scandals. There's been a lot of scandals the past couple of years in college basketball with, tape conversations from the FBI with, players being offered money with the third party in there with the shoe companies. And we're seeing some guys go to jail. He said he's disgusted with college basketball, packed his bags, and I'm going to the NBA.
I have to ask you this question. Look, I mean, we've got some time. We've got one more game to get to, Nets at Jazz. We'll get to this in a second. But Tony, I'm always amazed by this. The NCAA made over $1 billion in the deal with Turner for the tournament for a 5 or 7 year deal. The universities make big money off their basketball and football programs. Big money. Up until recently, they've owned the image rights for the players. They've owned every dollar that they can squeeze out of marketing these players. How is it that someone can go to jail, mind you, for violating a sporting league's rules? I could see if you would be thrown out of the league or the school be banned if you... First of all, it's stupid. I mean, it's such a hypocrisy. It's ridiculous. But how is it someone actually goes to jail for this? Who's the victim here? Who's the victim here?
Yeah, it's an ugly sport there, of course, with the shoe companies getting involved. Well, the thing of the fact is when you've got the coaches making the deals with the shoe companies, assistant coaches, that's where the crime is committed here, is with the coaching staff, and that's where they busted a lot of these assistant coaches. And of course, you're right. I think these players will be able to make. Right now, we saw the bill in California. It's been endorsed by Coach K. We've seen some state governors come up and say we're endorsing this, where they can make money off their likeness with advertisements and whatnot. I think it's moving. I think we'll see that, Nick, in the near future here, where these kids will be able to make money off their likeness. And one thing to note here, it's hard to pay every player, because then you have to pay the women's leagues and of course men's soccer and whatnot. It's hard to do, but if they can make money on their name, their likeness, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, I think I also think some of these players should be paid a stipend, but that's a point for another discussion, certainly at a different time. Let's finish off with the NBA discussion. If we have time, we'll loop back with this one. Then let's talk Nets at Jazz. The Nets 4-5, 3-6 against the spread, coming off that 138-112 loss to the Suns. One thing the Nets have been doing is giving up a lot of points. Of course, Kevin Durant's still out. The Utah Jazz 6-3, 3-6 against the spread on a 2-game winning streak with wins against the 76ers and the Suns. Utah 8-2 straight up versus the Nets. No injuries of note. This should likely be 9-2 for Utah after this game. And by the way, Al Nino says Utah Jazz is his NBA free play. He's writing to us on YouTube.
All right. We got to qualify that, Al. Is it for the game today? Because the Jazz are in action today against Golden State. This will be a back-to-back spot for Utah as they're going to be hosting the Nets here. And I'm going to go under total here. Utah and Brooklyn under a total of 220. Utah will be on the back-to-back here after facing Golden State on Monday night. Utah, they play at the 4th slowest pace in the NBA, 99 possessions per 48 minutes. At home, they should be able to dictate pace here in this spot. At home, they're holding opponents to just 42% shooting, 31% from 3, and they're giving up just 95 points a game at home. So I think they'll be able to dictate pace here. As we said, they're having struggles here with Mike Conley, the guard here, shooting threes. Only Mitchell and Bogdanovich are making the three-point shots here for Utah. And of course, the Jazz, number 1 in defensive efficiency ratings, allowing just 98 points per 100 possessions. And the Jazz, they played to under in 11 of 12, 6 of 7 at home as they enter this game Monday at Golden State. And of course, Brooklyn has not been shooting well on the road, just 44% here. But I like this one going under, Nick.
So the 3-point issue, is that extra 16 inches?
Not in the NBA. That's only in college where we see.
That's right. Of course, yes. The NBA stays where it is. Of course, yes. I'm sorry. I was my mind. It's really been bad today. I thought we were back on the Memphis game. By the way, El Nino says his jazz play was for Monday. I'm getting old.
Very good.
I'm getting old, Tigray. I'm getting old. It's I'm not taking my ginkgo biloba quite as regularly as I used to. But
well, you're not going plant-based. You're gonna go plant-based, maybe.
I'm gonna go plant-based, oxygen-based. Maybe put myself into a retirement home. I'm not quite sure which one, but one of them's gonna have to go because my memory ain't what it used to be. But look, I want to get back to this discussion very briefly. We just have a couple of minutes. My question to you on this is, okay, so I get the shoe company issue. I understand what happened there. But really, jail? I could see if somebody gets sued. I could see if the NCAA wants to sue these people and get a big civil judgment on them. But really, you're going to send somebody to jail for making a business deal with a shoe company? I mean, it just seems to me when we have, in Chicago, for example, I mean, how many people are being killed every day in the streets of Chicago? Are we going to put time into sending people to jail because they're doing a deal with collegiate athletes and shoe companies and in violation of NCAA rules? I think this whole thing is just further proof of how out of whack we are in terms of our priorities.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I'm with you there. And of course, it's the way the laws have been written in this country. For some reason, they do not want these athletes getting paid, and they don't want middlemen dealing with them. I used to hear rumors of, boosters paying these athletes a great deal of money just to be security guards at their parties. I know they stopped some of that out here on the West Coast, some of the high-end, these big parties in Hollywood, the Westwood area, the stuff going on. But yeah.
Well, wait, hold on 1 second. Just to be clear, UCLA would never violate any rules, okay? I mean, that is the UCLA athletic program is the gold standard for collegiate athletic programs globally, not just in America, globally, the world over. Okay, so just now you can go. I just want to make sure you don't.
So let me ask you this: What happened in Morton Steakhouse with Jim Herrick and the players?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Tigray. We have a bad connection.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering if you knew what the details were. You'd be close to the program, and then in that steakhouse in Westwood where Jim Herrick liked to kind of wheel and deal a little bit.
Yes, my favorite. All right,
absolutely.
Any other games of note this weekend? Either college basketball or the NBA, or even better. How do you like this college football game? The Midshipmen against the Fighting Irish. That's going to be my game for the weekend. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I'm kind of with on Sean's side. I'm looking at taking the 10 points here. As I said, the triple option is tough to play. And one thing I note with Navy, when Navy has a good program, they always give Notre Dame a tough game. And I think this is a situation where Navy's really a good program this year. I like Malcolm Perry. They're running. Keep an eye on that quarterback, Malcolm Perry. Good run pass option. I think downfield passing is great, over 16 yards per pass attempt, because people fall asleep on the pass against him, but then he'll make that sharp throw downfield and make big plays. So I like definitely Navy in this spot, especially since Notre Dame's looked flat at home the past 2 games.
Right. Should be a great one. All right, Tony, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. You can find Tony and his picks at picksandparlays.net. Loads of free picks from Tony. And, of course, when you're ready, you can kick it up with his expert picks at picksandparlays.net. All right, I know we've given out a lot of picks, and some of them have just been wrong because I gave them out. But we're going to try and get it right. We'll recap it after the break.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down: 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Are you an active stock market investor? Well, then you know these 3 key words: buy, sell, hold. Those 3 magic words can make or lose you money in the stock market. What if we can show you a time-tested tool that's been helping stock market investors succeed for over 30 years? It's called VectorVest, an amazing system designed to make smart investing easy. The VectorVest system analyzes, sorts, and ranks over 19,000 stocks every day and tells you when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell any stock to maximize your profits in less than 10 minutes a day. And if you call right now, you can test drive our amazing VectorVest system risk-free for 30 days for just $9.95.
800-584-2519. 800-584-2519. 800-584-2519. That's 800-584-2519.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays. I'm your host, Nick Geber. Find me on Twitter at Nick Geber, Nickgeber. We've had a lot of discussion about some select games coming up this week, next few days. In case you missed any of it, though, I'm going to recap them for you. Here we go. We started off with Craig Trapp's free NBA and college football picks. I don't believe that's what we did. So we didn't do that. I think these are all wrong, actually. What's the next one say? Let's take a look, because, you know, we could really have messed this up. Let's take the next one. Yeah, this one we did. Sean Higgs. Yeah, we got some college football with Sean. The UNC at Pitt, he said take the under 50.5. Wisconsin at Nebraska, take Wisconsin minus 13.5. And Navy at Notre Dame, take under 54. Then we had Tony Tellez, and we don't have Tony's picks up there. So if you want to get him, do me a favor. Go to our YouTube page and check us out on YouTube. It's one of those days today, guys. It's Veterans Day. I don't know what to say. We are a little discombobulated. But the picks were good, and you can find lots of them at picksandparlays.net. By the way, if you like soccer, I'm going to be on the air tonight on Sirius XM 211, Dan Patrick Sports, as I am each and every week night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We'll be looking back at the Premier League. And if you caught my Premier League picks this weekend, I was pretty much on fire. So you'd be making a big mistake if you bet soccer. You don't tune in. But you want to tune in here Monday through Friday. That's right, every day of the week. 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. on the right coast. That's right, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We are live on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Be sure to tune in Monday through Friday for Picks and Parlays. And while you're about it, check out our website, picksandparlays.net, where we have loads and loads of free picks and, of course, expert picks when you're ready to take the plunge. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me here. I'm going to go take my Ginkgo biloba and probably have a, bottle of whiskey to end the day. Cheers. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
USA Radio.